want to talk about Moldavite. Have you worked with this stone? It's a meteorite, tektite, I guess technically. And I have one on my ring. And I've had this ring, I think since like 2017. And this ring is like a friend to me. Like we've reached that level of comfort. And the first time, like a friend of mine, she put a Moldavite in my hand, and I just couldn't stop holding it. I was like, wow, this stone is so amazing. And I had such like a deep resonance with it. And yeah, then like a year later I ended up getting this ring that I have, and this ring has a life of its own. The stone has fallen out. It hates traveling. So if I'm like gonna go on a trip, sometimes the stone just falls out beforehand and it'll like reemerge or reappear later. And sometimes it likes to take breaks from being out in the world. And it just lets me know. I do think of it as like its own being and respect it like that, like it's its own little entity. I guess the spirit of Moldavite is pretty big, but the stone itself is like a little entity to me. But yeah, I noticed that there are a lot of people who just don't mess with this stone at all and feel like a really intense aversion to it. And I'm just wondering what that is. Because one of the, like, if you've ever heard of the Book of Stones, I just can't remember the author's name right now, but he has a huge chapter on Moldavite. It's a really important stone to him, and he sees it as this very like spiritual accelerator type of gemstone to be working with. And I really want to know what happened energetically with Moldavite and why it became such a popular trend and then all of a sudden became like super expensive. It was already pretty expensive, but now it's like ridiculous. And I want to tune into that more. I want to figure out like what happened with Moldavite, because it's such a beautiful stone and it is really good for people who are working fairy magic, for witches, for people who are doing like spirit work. It's very protective. It helps your psychic abilities. I find mine to like if I'm giving readings, like I also have a Moldavite like pendant and earrings. I'm like a Moldavite devotee. Yeah, just it helps. It helps like access all my psychic channels. And I guess like maybe it depends on if your energy is oriented to it or not. It's like not everyone looks good wearing red, and some people do. And so maybe Moldavite's a similar thing. Like if the current or that magic matches your energy, then the stone will be in your life. And I think it, like I've heard like people like get the stone and then it disappears a day or two later. So maybe that's like this stone saying like it's not time to work with me, or show like I think there's a teaching moment in that's like not that you have an aversion to Moldavite, but that you are learning about the consciousness or the reality that stones are their own being, and they will make their own decisions and they will tell you what's up for them. And I don't know. I think it's just less about us than we think it is. I want to add that building a relationship with the spirit of something is so important. And I don't think I don't think having an aversion to something is a big deal. I think that's just your spirit telling you like, yes, do this, or no, don't do this. And I think that's a good thing to listen to. No need to force anything. I think actually it's like worse when you're forcing things. And that might be why like Moldavite's causing all kinds of chaos. Who knows? I'm not Moldavite. But I just wanted to say that like if you are interested in working with Moldavite, you don't have to be afraid of that. Just listen to your intuition and build a relationship with the stone. Like start talking to the spirit of that stone, or like meditating on it, even if you don't have a piece of Moldavite, and just notice what's happening in your mind and your body and in your spirit and what is being activated or awakened. And that might be like a deeper clue that like, yeah, Moldavite is aligned with my magic, my energy, or something you're trying to heal or develop. So yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts on Moldavite are, or if you've, like investigated this or had Moldavite, and what your feelings are on that. So, yeah.